Welcome to the She Rises Collective podcast, a permission slip, a portal, and a hug all in one. A sacred space where stories soften us, truth unearths us, and sisterhood waters what's been waiting to grow. I'm Sonia Welch, wife and mama to a whole bunch of kids, certified trauma-informed life and transformation coach, entrepreneur, storyteller, heart and soul-driven woman walking life right alongside you. This is where we talk about the real stuff. Motherhood, relationships, money, career, business, healing and reinvention, sisterhood, the day-to-day, becoming the woman you know you're meant to be, and everything in between. Nothing is off limits here. We alchemize struggle into strength, pain into purpose, and we rise together. Raw, honest, wildly empowered. As the artist of our lives, let's take the raw materials of life and make freaking art, because you can be a masterpiece and a work of art at the same time. And if there's one thing I want you to know, it's this. No matter your past or your present, your future can be wildly beautiful, and you deserve a life that makes your soul scream, yes, more, please. If you're here, it's not by accident, you were led. And this space was created for you because this isn't just a podcast, it's a movement. A sacred soul-led space to come together, connect and laugh in a space that is real and raw, encompassing the complexities and dynamics of life, hand in hand, growing and rising together. This is the She Rises Collective podcast. Welcome home. Hello, beautiful soul. I am so excited for the conversation that I am bringing forth today because I know it is so needed in today's modern motherhood world. And I hope that this short but potent and sweet conversation today brings you some healing. So let's get into it. One of the most underrated things in motherhood in today's modern world, and it may not be what you think. Yes, the tantrums are hard. The sleepless nights are hard. The often lack of self-care is hard. Not showering for days. Constant spit up and booby milk stained shirts during infancy. Sibling fights that sound like World War III. The beautiful chaos of motherhood. Yes, those things are hard. But today, I'm peeling back the curtain on the real ache in motherhood, and that is doing it without help. The loneliness and the exhaustion of doing it without a village. If this is you, just know that you are not alone. I know that this is so common today, and motherhood really is beautiful and messy and hard. But raising kids without family or support nearby adds another dynamic to the hard, another layer. So if you've ever felt like you are drowning in motherhood, this one's for you. Because we're told it takes a village. But what happens when you don't have a village? We're diving into the loneliness, the overwhelm, and the unspoken grief and exhaustion of raising kids without the tribe, and why naming it might just be the first step in healing it. There's a hidden weight that moms with no village carry. No support, no one to lean on, no breaks, 24/7 motherhood. And the real question is, what can we do to reclaim the connection and community that we deserve and are like deep down so desperate for? Because motherhood was never meant to be done alone. Yet so many of us are raising babies without family nearby, without a safety net, without a real village. So let's unpack the silent struggle that isn't talked about enough, and why the missing support system is one of the biggest, most underrated challenges moms face today. For me, I am one of these moms with no nearby village. And it wasn't always that way. When I had my first two oldest children, I was living in Michigan with family nearby. But I made the conscious choice to move across the country from Michigan to Arizona back in 2013 as a single mom of two children, ages 5 and 8. So yes, I was consciously leaving the village that I had, but for better opportunities for me and my children. And I don't regret it one bit, but that does not mean that raising children without a village, whether it was my decision to move or not, isn't hard. Two things can be true at the same time. I chose to move and brought my kids and I better opportunities. And at the same time, missing family and raising children is hard without a village. And since then, I got married and had 3 more children. I homeschool and literally have 0 breaks. I'm with my children 24/7, which is such a beautiful blessing, and I love them so incredibly much. But of course, I would be lying if I didn't tell you that I fantasize about real breaks to reset, to restore. There are times that I yearn for silence. In a perfect world, my kids would be taking camping trips with grandparents, and it would be good for everyone. My husband and I, our children, the grandparents. As a child, I personally spent so much time with my grandparents. Spending time with my grandparents are like the core memories of my childhood. I was with them all the time and have the most fondest memories from those times. And I know that my mom and my dad and my stepdad and my stepmom, I know they miss my children. And we just don't see them as often as I would love to. And that will be changing. You know, the world has been kind of crazy this last handful of years. And, you know, my parents both work a lot and they only have so much vacation time. So I understand completely how, you know, traveling across the country, us with a whole bunch of kids, them working, you know, it can be hard sometimes to travel as much as we'd really like to. But that doesn't negate the fact that I literally fantasize about a morning that the kids stayed over at grandma's and I can sleep in and wake up to my own internal clock rather than children asking me for breakfast before I've even opened my eyes, or waking up to my 5 and 7-year-olds hashing it out like we're hosting WWE live in our living room over a Star Wars Uno game because they tried to let mom and dad sleep, but Uno got the best of them. I know there are so many women, so many families that for so many various reasons are raising families without their village too. And that's why this is such an important topic. Whether it's because you're a military family or you moved or your parents are no longer living or you just don't have a relationship with your parents or you travel for your husband's job or, you know, whatever the reason is, it's common. And I know it's hard. So my intention here today is to just open the conversation around the topic. And I will also be sharing what we can do about it. You know, we live in a world, in a country, or here in the United States, you could be listening from somewhere else, but in a system where families work hard to provide in this economy. And it can often feel like we just don't have much left to give. We wear so many hats. We have so many responsibilities. Whether you're a stay-at-home mom who's with her kids 24/7, whether you're a working mom missing your children while you're at work and trying to balance motherhood and a career, or an entrepreneur mom balancing business and motherhood, each situation has its own set of challenges and all of it can feel hard. I've done every situation, all of them. I've been a single mom working. I've been a stay-at-home mom. I am a entrepreneur mom who is home but with her kids. And I don't believe that one is necessarily harder than the other when I stand back and look at it. And hard is subjective. It can all feel hard at times. Some wives might have husbands who work 60 hours weekly or husbands who travel for work, or you might be a single mom like I was for 8 years. Each family, each circumstance, each situation carries its own set of circumstances. And even though motherhood allows us to experience the most invigorating, pure love we've ever known, and it's the most rewarding thing we will ever do, and we love them so immensely that even after what felt like a hard, long day, we find ourselves going through the photos in our camera roll, oohing over that. It is the most rewarding thing we do, but it's also the most demanding and it's 24/7. And then the guilt sets in because we want to do our very best. We want to enjoy it. We want to be present. And sometimes that feels hard with so many responsibilities. Taking care of the house, the laundry, the education, grocery shopping, finances, taking care of our own mind, body, heart, and soul so we aren't running on fumes only. And so we aren't always pouring from an empty cup. It can feel overwhelming. And we ache to enjoy it because we know it's time we don't get back. Yet, when we're in the thick of it, some days you look back and you're asking yourself, did I do good enough today? Was I present enough? There's so much pressure because there's nothing we care about more or love more than our children. But we get overstimulated, tapped out. And many of us did not grow up in homes where we were taught how to regulate our nervous systems, emotional intelligence. Many of us are reparenting ourselves while parenting. Many of us are healing while parenting. But you know what is so beautiful? I see a generation of women, of moms who are consciously choosing to stand up, to change the paradigm, to heal in ways that will echo for generations to come, and to parent differently. Let's talk about why naming it matters. Number one, validation through awareness. When moms name that they're doing motherhood without a village, when we name that, it takes the invisible weight and it makes it visible. Not to go into victim mode, but to shift the story from something must be wrong with me to, you know what? This is a real shared struggle. Number two, breaking the silence. So many women carry guilt or shame for feeling lonely or for feeling like it's hard. You know, we see the highlight reels on social media, the perfect moms and situations and scenarios. And we're like, oh, why does motherhood not feel like that or look like that for me? But we just see the highlight reels. Naming it is the first act of rebellion against that silence. Number three, the power of language. Words give us something to hold. They take the fog of the emotions and ground them into clarity. We can say, you know what? This feels hard, not because I'm failing, not because I'm not doing good enough, but because I'm doing it alone without a village. And wow, what a powerful force to be reckoned with because of that. And that is the first step toward healing and action. So what we can do without a village? What can we do? Like, how do we navigate this? I have 5 things that I'm going to share with you. Number 1, make micro connections. Find and nurture tiny threads of connection. One friend, one neighbor, one online group, one mom at the park. It's not about replacing the entire village, but about weaving together small pieces of support that feel safe and meaningful. Number 2, reframe the narrative. Remind yourself that not having a village does not mean that you are failing. You're just mothering in a cultural gap that was never meant to exist. Sometimes just reframing the story lifts the shame, takes the pressure off, and makes room for breathing compassion and grace that you deserve. Releasing the shame around it is so powerful. Number 3, create intentional rituals. Even if the village is missing, you can create pockets of sanity and soul care. A morning walk, journaling, voice noting a friend, gathering kids with another mom once a week, a late night bath after the kids are sleeping, romanticizing little pieces of your day, throwing on music where you and the kids just stop in the middle of the day, dance in the kitchen, laugh and breathe, things like that. Number 4, claim community differently. The village may not look like generations all under one roof or on one piece of land or even in the same city or state. The village might now be more digital, more spread out, or self-created, but it's still valid and deeply supportive. Number 5, practice self-compassion. Without a village, the inner critic can get really loud, but consciously choosing to speak to yourself like a friend is part of reclaiming sanity. When I started my healing journey, becoming my own best friend and cheerleader was the biggest power move, but it took intention and choosing it consciously, which takes effort when we are busy moms with so many things to do. We can so easily get sucked into autopilot mode, but pausing, slowing down, and consciously choosing awareness is magic in and of its own. We may not all have a built-in village, but we can build something just as powerful. Circles of connection, inner resilience, community, empathy, understanding, reframing it, and a new story of motherhood that doesn't leave anyone feeling like they're carrying it all alone. And this really ties into my reason for this podcast, for connection, for sisterhood, for the real, the raw, the beautiful, the ugly, the chaos, the power as women in sisterhood. I came across a post the other day talking about why sisterhood is medicine for your hormones and your nervous system. I was like, oh my goodness, this ties so much into my next podcast episode. So I'm going to share it today with you to close out this episode. This is a post from the Hormone Goddess on Instagram, and it says, why sisterhood is medicine for your hormones and nervous system. Women's bodies and nervous systems are regulated through connection. Under stress, we are designed to tend and befriend or to talk it out, which helps us to complete the stress cycle. In a world fueled by artificial dopamine, chronic productivity, fear, and disconnection, women uniting and sisterhood is a powerful antidote. Our frayed nervous systems are crying for connection. Our bodies are asking us to remember what we've been taught to forget. That connection is medicine, sisterhood is sacred. Women heal through being witnessed. Our hormones are also affected by the quality of our relationships. When we connect safely to others, our bodies release the love hormone oxytocin. Not only does this lower stress and inflammation, but it can also help us to regulate our sexual hormones. We were never meant to process pain in isolation or to walk alone. On top of this, numerous studies show the soothing effects of sisterhood. One study showed that women who received emotional support had lower levels of cortisol, as well as calmer heart rate responses than women walking alone. Being around women who make space to hold you literally transforms your physiology. Science also shows that voicing our feelings can change our brain in positive ways. Simply having the space to say out loud, I feel sad, or I feel overwhelmed, can reduce activity in the amygdala, the fear center in our mind. This sharing also increases activity in the prefrontal cortex, which can offer calm, clarity, and rational thought. This is known as affect labeling. The problem is that science shows that sisterhood is healing, yet we're taught the opposite. In a patriarchal world where logic, the mind, and being rational and productive are king, women are shamed for talking too much or being too emotional. Even though our biology is wired for relational healing, we're made to believe it's a flaw. We've also been conditioned to fear sisterhood. For most of human history, women bled, cooked, prayed, and healed together, but it wasn't called nervous system regulation. It was community. Yet, over time, and in part to the witch wound, we've been made to believe that trusting other women can be harmful. Instead, we should watch our backs, compete, or try to be better than one another. But the truth is, when we gather in circle, we become more dangerous to a system that is propped up by the emotional labor and pain of women. We are stronger when we are together. We are stronger in sisterhood. Shame, which capitalism preys on, dies when stories are told in safe spaces. After all, when we are held in our truth without needing to be fixed, we're able to heal things that no amount of supplements, drugs, food, or exercise regimen can offer. And we restore ancient threads which have always bound us together. Sisterhood is sacred. Connection is medicine. Again, what I just read is a post from the Hormone Goddess on Instagram, and it ties into this topic of today's episode and the entire premise of this podcast. So it only felt right to share it and to leave its beauty and power with you today. Sisterhood is sacred, connection is medicine, and I hope and pray that we are on the sacred path of going back to the roots of our humanity. So as you step back into your day, may you remember this truth. You were never meant to do this alone. Connection is your medicine, sisterhood is your strength, and together we are rewriting the story of what it means to be a mother, a woman, and a force of love in this world. Thank you so much for tuning in to the She Rises Collective podcast. If this episode moved you, inspired you, reminded you of your power, or you just plain enjoyed it, please take a second to subscribe, share it with a friend, leave a review, and even share it to your social media. Your voice helps this show reach more women who are ready to rise. If you're craving deeper support, real conversations, or want to explore working together, head to SoniaWelch.com or come say hi on Instagram or Facebook to stay connected. I'd truly love to hear what's landing for you. My coaching work is about the sacred journey of rising, becoming, and expansion into the most beautiful version of you. It's the synergy of mind, heart, soul, and body work that we do in my world that creates a vortex of deep self-remembrance, unlocking your fullest potential, the kind that births lasting transformation and activates the truth of who you are. It's a recalibration of who you are at your core, a deep initiation into your power, your purpose, and your potential. Remember, you are the artist of your life. You are allowed to rewrite your story. You are worthy of more joy, more peace, and more soul-screaming yes moments than you've ever allowed yourself to believe are even possible. This is about living a life of intoxicating joy, doing what lights you up, a life that roars into the world and creates ripple effect impact, because it's not just about us. This is how we shift paradigms, take our power back, and give others permission to do the same, just by being who we truly are and letting our magic be felt and seen. Until next time, keep rising, keep becoming, and don't forget, joy is rebellion, and you are here to make it roar. You are loved and you are supported here.